Right next to a landfill in Northern California, just past a stack emitting methane from rotting garbage, there's an entirely different type of waste management facility that's burning trash instead of burying it.
That crane picks up about 7 tons of trash with each grab, and it's slowly fed into the chute for combustion.
This combustion is known as waste to energy or energy recovery because it's used to generate electricity. The intense heat converts water in 21 miles of pipes around the combustor into steam that turns a turbine. It also creates carbon and toxic ash, but unlike landfills, it doesn't emit any methane.
2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, a very efficient burn, making 23 megawatts, and we only use about 3 megawatts to operate the whole facility.
Part of what's burned here is some 27,000 annual tons of waste from big companies like American Airlines, Quest Diagnostics, Sunny D, and Subaru. They're part of a growing movement by companies and governments to send less to landfills.
You can see there are some car seats and the like. This actually comes from an automotive manufacturer that doesn't want to send these materials to a landfill.
Amazon and other retailers also use this combustion to dispose of returns they deem unfit to recycle, resell, or donate.
It is our absolute last resort, both economically as well as environmentally.
We went to a facility run by Covanta, one of the biggest U.S. energy recovery companies, to see the process firsthand and find out why big companies like Amazon and parts of Europe and Asia have embraced burning their waste, while most of the U.S. keeps piling it up in landfills. With returns pouring in at record numbers, items like discarded clothes generate an estimated 5.8 billion pounds of landfill waste each year. With an estimated return rate over 20%, online purchases are more likely to be returned than those bought in store. Yet Amazon says they send no items to landfills. We wanted to find out how that was possible.
There are a number of items that we can't recover or are not recyclable, and for reasons such as legal reasons or hygienic reasons or even product damage. And in those cases, we do pursue energy recovery for those items.
While Covanta says it doesn't handle Amazon returns, and Amazon wouldn't share who does, Covanta says about 10% of its business comes from corporate clients like Subaru, which likes to advertise it's building cars in zero landfill plants.
For us, we want it to be zero landfill because we want it to produce the car in a very environmentally friendly way. What's in it for us is we want to do the right thing.
When a major car manufacturer like Subaru says they're zero landfill, they have done the reduce, the reuse, the recycle, and what's left over, they send to a facility like a waste energy facility. It's the fastest growing part of the business because businesses are understanding sustainability, and they're understanding that one of the major elements of sustainability is waste management.
It's a corporate marketing trick to say, we're going to make energy from this. Well, that always sounds good, right? We all need energy. And people don't realize what it means is we're actually burning it.
But climate experts say the carbon-intensive process provides a net reduction of greenhouse gases for 3 reasons. It keeps waste out of landfills, which emit far more harmful methane. 700,000 tons of metal is recovered by the process each year, reducing the need for mining. And it replaces energy that could otherwise be made by burning fossil fuels.
For every ton of garbage that you burn, you save a ton of CO2 that you would otherwise create from, say, burning a fossil fuel or something. When you compare that to a landfill, every legitimate study shows that the environmental impact of a landfill is more than sending to a waste energy facility.
Landfills make up 17% of methane emissions, and the global warming impact of methane is 86 times greater than carbon dioxide on a 20-year timeframe. But the bigger problem is, why do we have so much waste in the first place? The U.S. is one of the most wasteful developed countries in the world, with some of the most trash generated per person per day. Marco Castaldi of the City College of New York has been working in the combustion space for 20 years.
We produce about 4 pounds per person per day. And to give you an idea of what that's like, that's, your outfit that you're wearing today, instead of taking it off and put it in the wash, you throw it away. In Europe, in Japan, the amount of waste that's generated is about half that.
While it's indisputable that recycling and composting are far better, not all materials can go that route. So what do we do with the record 292 million tons of waste generated by Americans each year? More than half is landfilled, while about a third is recycled and 12% is incinerated at waste-to-energy facilities.
There are approximately 70 to 80 waste-to-energy facilities compared to, say, 1,450 active landfills.
In parts of Europe and Asia, those numbers are flipped.
When you look at how much waste is actually combusted versus landfilled, it's really kind of sad.
Countries like Japan, Denmark, and Germany rely on energy recovery far more than landfills. In the EU, waste incineration doubled from 1995 to 2019. But critics like Neil Tongri of the Global Alliance for Incinerator Alternatives argue some countries have over-added capacity for the carbon-intensive process.
Denmark now realizes that it incinerates too much waste, and if it is going to meet its greenhouse gas emissions targets, it's going to need to reduce waste incineration. Sweden overbuilt waste incineration and now imports waste from other countries to keep its waste incinerators burning, because you can't just shut them down.
In the US, the first incinerator was built in New York in 1895, and by 1905, the city was using it to generate enough electricity to light the Williamsburg Bridge. More than half of US states define waste-to-energy as a renewable energy source, and unlike landfills, many governments and NGOs consider it a source of greenhouse gas mitigation, including the Environmental Protection Agency, where Susan Thornlow leads research on materials management.
Is it better for clean electricity production to burn or bury waste? And it was hands down better to combust it, because you get energy value from it, you get metals from it, and you're not producing methane.
To understand why many environmental scientists and more companies prefer combustion with energy recovery over landfill, let's take a look at how it works.
In that big building is where the waste is combusted and steam is made from it. The steam then goes to a turbine. It spins because of the steam, it's sort of like a jet engine. And that then turns the generator that makes the electricity.
Paul Gilman runs sustainability efforts for all of Covanta's 40-plus facilities, which he says produce enough power for about 1 million homes. The Stanislaus facility was built in 1989.
At this facility, we process about 270,000 tons of waste a year for the county, and that's enough to really run about 18,000 homes.
This facility also recovers more than 5,000 tons of metal each year from the burned remains of the waste, like these chunks of unrefined valuable metals that'll be sold and turned back into things like aluminum cans and copper pipes.
You'd be amazed what people put in their garbage. It's everything from the occasional mattress, but we can go ahead and get the metal springs out and the like and recycle that, something that if it went to the landfill would be lost for good.
Tons of aluminum that's recovered from these facilities, tons of copper. And instead of extracting it out of the ground, okay, that's already been done, and now it's here to use again.
The steam can also be captured and used again, piped up to 1 mile away to heat or cool entire buildings.
There's a waste-to-energy facility that's in Minnesota that uses the heat to heat the Minnesota Twins baseball field, and they run it underneath the grass to keep the grass alive in the wintertime.
In Paris, 50% of the city's heating needs are met using 3 waste-to-energy plants. Landfills can also harness energy from the methane produced by rotting organic material, but far less efficiently. Landfill gas generates enough power for 810,000 U.S. homes per year, compared to 2.3 million homes powered by far fewer waste-to-energy facilities.
We recover almost 10 times more energy from a given amount of waste than is recovered from a landfill.